This is such good stuff, man, because these are the like little behind the scenes stuff that us fans don't really get privy to, right? So we really appreciate you kind of filling us in here.
Patreon.com/the Walk Off Podcast. $4 a month gets you in there.
This was just announced, and I don't know if you've had time to put all that much thought into it, but I would love to know because it was just announced that all AAA games this year are going to have Robo Umps. Adam and I have been asked this question personally by our listeners. And honestly, man, you are just so much better equipped to answer this. So if you could fill the folks in, and what the question is with framing being such a massive part of the catching game and just the amount of value that's put on the ability to steal strikes here and there. But with Robo Umps, is that going to make framing irrelevant? And on top of that, what are your personal thoughts on Robo Umps?
Yeah, so honestly, I think it is going to be making framing irrelevant, but there's other parts of catching that are going to be exploited more. So I believe, I believe throwing and blocking are going to be the number one priorities, 1 and 2, because receiving is now out the picture. Now you technically just have to catch the ball. You don't have to make it look good. You don't have to do nothing. You just have to catch it. Umpire's going to say ball or strike. With that being said, we just have to be in a throwing position at all times. You know what I'm saying? Because since we don't have to worry about catching this ball, right? We just got to be in a throwing position at all times. So if there is a runner, I'm ready to throw at all times. Rather than focusing on catching this ball and bringing it back to the strike zone, it's kind of just catch and make sure it goes. The second thing was blocking will be so much like more important, because now there's no excuse to not block the ball, because you don't have to try to catch it right. So blocking should be like almost a guarantee, because we're taking receiving out of the picture. It's one less thing to do. So now it's just throwing and blocking. And if there's nobody on, you just got to make sure you block.
Yeah.
That is an interesting point about the being ready to throw, because I know there was some comical, I don't know if highlights is the right word, but last year where, there's 2 outs and the runner's going, right? But the catcher doesn't even throw down to 2 because he's too busy still framing that pitch, just hoping beyond hope that he can get the strike and didn't need to have thrown. But, meanwhile, it's just an easy stolen base on a low ball. Yep. So that's a good point.
Yep.
To expand on this, Chris, and you're like the perfect guy to answer this because you are a dude who very well could make his major league debut this year. You could be a guy who yo-yos up and down a little bit if there's some, knock on wood, bad tacos. We're very superstitious here on the walk-off, so we don't like to use that I word, but you know what I mean. You have a bad taco, need to, yeah. What is it going to be like to go from catching in a robo-ump scenario to all of a sudden maybe literally framing being everything again?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's just going to be something where you can't lose your ability to receive. Honestly, it's going to be tricky, because this is where it's going to be tricky. There's some pitchers that don't like for the catchers to just like get rid of the ball. They want to see where it is, regardless of the robo. So if the pitcher genuinely just doesn't care, then just throw receiving out the window. But if he does care, then you're you're gonna have to do what he wants, because he's your pitcher. Now, with that being said, let's just say we don't have to receive at all in AAA, and then you go to the big leagues and you have to receive. Though you have to put in, if you're gonna be that up and down guy, then you have to be putting in work on the side just to be ready. And the scary part of this is the habit that the catchers are gonna have into not sticking strikes. That then there is gonna be this borderline pitch, which will be like right here, that instead of just sticking it, you're just gonna let it go. Mm-hmm. And that one bad habit happens 2 or 3 times a game, and now it's a big deal.
Yeah. So, I can imagine this is going to be tricky for pitchers going up and down too, right?
Mm-hmm. Casey mentioned it on Twitter, because it's look, honestly, I've been I'm
We
okay.
hit a sore spot here, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have nothing like, but I think the only mistake that they probably made, and hey, who am I, was to make this a thing in AAA when there's gonna be guys that are fighting for their life, fighting for their
Yes.
career, and
Yes.
they're going up and down. I mean, it could have been a I get the whole idea, but they could have just done it in a lower level. Could have been
Hmm.
A ball or something. But the fact that these guys, older guys like Casey, are gonna have to deal with going to the big leagues and then coming back to this.
Yeah.
I mean, Casey goes up, and then when he comes down, he's got a list of things that he needs to do in order to get back up.
But he's playing a different game now. He goes down and it's
Exactly.
like
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
so
So
is there a rule over the last couple of years? Yeah, because Major League Baseball continues to make minor league baseball the guinea pig. But is there a rule change that you do like? Something they implemented recently that by
oh
the
my
end of
god.
the year, you're like, this actually makes the game better.
Definitely. The clock.
Oh, the pitch clock. You like that, eh?
Oh my god, I love the pitch clock. I love it. I mean, at first, like, it was kind of like speeding up, but then like, shoot, we're done in 2 hours. It's great. And
Yeah.
like there's no like pause times. It's just go, 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 go. And I love it.
You
Honestly, I
can
don't mind
feel
it.
there's a rhythm to it, eh? The rhythm of the
Yeah,
game
it's
is more prevalent.
literally there's more rhythm rather than everybody's just doing what they want. So I
How do
like
you
it.
how do you notice just in terms of your own body, like if we're shaving an hour off the game, that's half an hour less time you're spending in the squat, right? Do you notice that in
That's,
like your recovery the next day?
oh
You're
my
like
god,
you're feeling
it's
loose
huge.
still or
It's huge. It's
yeah.
huge because like number one, as catchers, we get mentally tired more than anything.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, if you're giving me more time at night after the game to just relax, I'm all in. I'm all in. And number one, number two, I mean, the game is just going smoother. The game is going smoother. The mound visits are so important. We're not just taking out mound visits for no reason anymore.
Yeah.
Like these mound visits are actually very important. Something's being said. I mean, I like it. I like it. They put us in a little bit of time constraint. We panicked a little bit in the first month.
Yeah, right. Of course, there's some getting used to, right?
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on. Hitters were calling timeouts and getting called strikes and all sorts of stuff. But hey, keep a foot in the box. I hated it too, but whatever.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that.